Creative Living, utilizing today's technology with the best of the past to bring you innovative ideas and up-to-date information for creative lifestyles in today's active world. With your host, Sheryl Borden.
I'm so glad you joined me today for Creative Living. We're going to talk about how a pet's diet can impact their health. We'll also show you how to plan a fig-tastic dessert party, and we'll talk about ways to incorporate leftover turkey in some of your recipes for entertaining. Pet owners know that a sick pet can cost a lot of money. One of my guests today is Will Post, and he knows that a pet's diet can impact their health, and he'll talk about ways that the diet can be improved. He's the owner and founder of Hound and Gatos Pet Food Corporation in Atlanta, Georgia. Another guest is Carla Stockley, and she represents the California Fig Advisory Board. Carla will talk about combining fresh fruit and figs for a popular dessert item. She'll also share some of her favorite ways to incorporate figs into other dessert recipes. She's from Fresno, California. And we're going to start the show with Christine Palumbo, who will demonstrate some recipes using turkey that can add a new twist to traditional holiday entertaining, or for any time you want to spice up your mealtime. Christine represents Honeysuckle White and Shady Brook Farms, and she's from Naperville, Illinois. Christine, it's such a pleasure to have you here, and I don't know about you, but I really enjoy cooking for holidays. Seems like the everyday cooking gets a little monotonous, but it's so much fun to have a holiday, and usually you have friends or neighbors or family home, and you're going to talk to us about some different recipes for 3 different holidays today.
That's right, Sheryl. Holidays are filled with tradition, but many of us appreciate a little fresh twist on tradition, at least for some of the items on the table. And all the recipes that we're going to discuss, I found on ShadyBrookFarms.com and HoneysuckleWhite.com.
So that's a good source for those, okay?
So really the first big holiday of the year is the 4th of July. And nothing says America like a good hot dog or hamburger. But if you're looking for a fresh twist on that, why don't you think about having a turkey burger or a turkey bratwurst.
Now, why substitute the turkey instead of beef? What's the advantage?
A lot of us are really watching our waistline and trying to, stay in or try to get into the bathing suits at that time of the year.
Oh.
The turkey sausages and the turkey burgers are much, much leaner, lower in calories and lower in fat than the traditional beef or pork varieties.
Oh, okay.
So
and they're very economical too, using turkey.
You are so right. They really are, and there's no waste because you don't have a lot of fat to drain off.
Throw away.
Yeah,
so you have a couple of different types of burgers.
So let's start here. Actually, this is what we call barbecue turkey burger with 3-bean salad, and it is simply a burger, a turkey burger that you purchase just like this, and just pop it on the grill like you would any other burger, and it's delicious on a whole wheat bun and loaded up with some sliced tomato, onion, lettuce, a little bit of low-fat mayo if that's your preference, but certainly load up the mustard because that's fat-free. But this is a good way to get some good nutrition in without feeling any guilt. And then this 3-bean salad is just made out of, the ingredients that you see here: garbanzo beans, frozen corn, kidney beans, and tomatoes with a little bit of dressing.
And that could be made up a day or two ahead of time because it seems the flavor gets better if you let it set in the refrigerator, I think.
I think so too. Either that or get up really early in the morning. That's what usually works for me.
Okay.
And then what about Thanksgiving? I mean, we've got...
It's a wonderful time of the year.
Absolutely. It's actually my favorite time and my favorite meal. But, what do you do with the turkey leftovers? That's an issue that some of us worry about. What are we going to do? And, after a while, you just get tired of those sandwiches. So here we have something that you can make with leftover turkey or at any time of the year with turkey tenderloins, which are so easy to just pop into the oven or put out onto the grill. They cook up very quickly, and then you can cut them up or shred them like you would any other turkey product. And here, this recipe calls for cranberries. We've got dried cranberries. I think you could probably...
Perfect for this time of the year.
Delicious. And you could probably substitute fresh cranberries if you want, because there is a little bit of maple syrup that goes into the salad recipe. Radicchio, lettuce, sliced almonds, and then a balsamic vinegar. But doesn't that look beautiful?
It does. It looks really pretty.
And again, it's a good way to eat up leftover turkey or turkey that you're going to buy fresh, but it's not the same old heavy type of thing.
You'd never know it was a leftover, in other words.
That's right. And then finally, by the time New Year's
you are
Eve
turkeyed out by
is,
then, you
you're
think.
partied out, you've had your fill of high-fat,
Too many
goodies.
sweets.
That's right. And by then, you're usually ready to start making those New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
So here we have an item, turkey cutlets with winter fruit sauce. And as you can see, it involves taking some whole wheat linguine, cooking that.
That's
and
the
then,
bed of it, right?
Exactly. And then again, you've got your turkey breast cutlets here by Shady Brook Farms, which again, you just cooks very easily either in the oven or in a frying pan.
Real fast.
It doesn't take long at all. And then you're going to prepare this using apricots and dried plums, and you make a sauce,
Kind of
and then you.
Asian type meal, is it?
Well, I'm not sure if it's Asian, but to me it's just whatever. But I mean, it looks delicious, and,
It does.
and look how beautiful that. I mean, that would
The
be
colors are really pretty together.
You're right, they are, and that would be a wonderful item to serve to your guests on New Year's Eve as they're toasting and making their New Year's resolutions, or the next day after the parties are over and you're ready to start those resolutions.
Well, and again, I think that the turkey cutlets, that's great to use that for. But again, this recipe could almost be modified and use some of the turkey tenderloin if you had that on hand, and you can sort of use the various turkey products in multiple ways.
So when you're a host or a hostess, it's very thoughtful of you to serve some of the items that your guests are expecting, but to put a fresh twist on it, and not serve the same thing, year after year. So here we've got some items that make it easy, and again, go to the websites, shadybrookfarms.com or honeysucklewhite.com.
Honeysuckle White and Shady Brook Farms. Got it. Yep. Okay, thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you, Sheryl.
Carla, thank you so much for being here. I know in reading the literature and looking at the web page for the California Fig Advisory Board, you can do so many things, all kinds of recipes, and the good thing is figs are so good for us. They're very healthful.
Absolutely. And again, what I like to think about is you can have your nutrition, but you can have your delicious sweet or savory flavors with California figs. You can do anything with them.
In California, that's what we really need to talk about, because I didn't realize that there aren't other states in the United States that raise figs. It's California.
It's California. So what we like to say is when you think figs, think California. We produce 100% of dried figs and 98% of fresh figs commercially in California. And we have the highest quality fruit in the world. And the reason for that is the warm temperatures in the San Joaquin Valley, they really are ideal for growing figs. And then you combine that with the rich, wonderful soil, and then layer in the wonderful cultural practices of the dedicated farmers. And that whole package really allows us to say California produces the highest quality figs in the world.
And I understand that it doesn't take a fig tree as long to mature so that it's producing, and it lasts 100 years?
Correct. You can actually have fruit second, third year. They start to really mature in that fifth and sixth year. But we do have some orchards that are over 100 years old.
That is amazing. So there's not too much replanting.
There's the newer varieties, and one of the things, again, cultural practices, but the growers are always thinking, what is it the consumer wants? And the fun thing is, and we've talked a little bit about flavor with figs, each variety delivers different flavors, from the wonderful warm notes of a Cabernet Sauvignon, and then all the way to Pinot Noir or Chardonnay and a Sauvignon Blanc. So you think of we do wine notes, as we've talked about, but unique flavor notes. The growers are looking at how do they develop new varieties that are going to give the the consumer what they want as it comes to flavor.
Well, and we might talk about the growing season and they're very delicate, it seems like. How are they harvested?
Absolutely. So dried figs, of course, they're available year round. Fresh figs are available mid-May through December, and extremely delicate, very fragile fruit. So with fresh figs, you really want to, when you're in the grocery store, you want to pick your fresh figs and you want it to have a very nice fragrant scent to it. If it smells fermented, that means it's going bad. You do not want to buy that. but you also, it should have be a little plump and have a little bit of give to it. So you want to make sure those things are actually there. Purchase your figs, and then you take them home. And when you take them home, you immediately want to put them in the refrigerator, but of course you want to eat some first. And then you can keep in the refrigerator 3 to 5 days. They can actually stay a little bit longer with the darker colored figs. They seem to stay a little longer.
They last longer.
But if you don't use them, you can freeze them.
That's what's really great. And then if you didn't get around to it or didn't have time during the growing season to make your favorite relish or chutney or whatever, with them frozen, you
Correct.
simply thaw them and you can still use them. And you don't have to peel them.
You don't have to peel them.
I
You
like
want all
that.
that flavor and nutrition in your end dish.
And what do we get from figs besides, I guess, calcium, vitamin C?
Well, you get excellent source of dietary fiber, so 5 grams of fiber per serving. You're also going to get a good source of potassium, calcium. You're going to get manganese as well. It's fat, cholesterol, and sodium free, which of course is
That's
something we
important.
really want to look at. And then also, it's a very good source of antioxidants. And so
Keeps us healthy.
Keeps us healthy, helps build that immune system because we have a lot going on in our lives and we want to eat as nutritionally as possible. And both fresh and dried figs allows you to help do that.
Well, and with so many varieties available, I would think it would be easy to let kids start picking these. And, you know, if you start kids young, they're more apt to want to incorporate a new food into their diet.
Correct.
And it'd be kind of a fun taste test type thing to do.
Yes, and actually we've done that where we'll do different varieties and both fresh and dried figs, so we let the kids kind of drive where they want to go. And the fun thing, and what we have here today is one of my favorites, is desserts.
Oh,
okay,
mine too.
So desserts though don't have to be bad for you, and we want them to be indulgent, but and good flavor. But there's also, we can have them nutritionally.
Oh, okay.
And so
That
when
sounds
we talked
perfect.
about the nutrition with figs, and one of the things, my Italian heritage, we like to finish our meal with cheese and fresh or dried fruit. So what we have here today is a really nice brie paired with a fig chutney. And so that's a little bit more savory, that you're going to get some of that the sweetness from the figs. And again, nice finish to your meal. Nice, maybe port wine would go perfectly with that. But we've got some fresh figs sliced here, a nice pepper jack that's going to also pair well with your golden fig, which is going to have some honey notes, berry notes to that.
Look how pretty they look together too.
Right, and it's very
Color
simple to
coordinated.
just put this together on a simple board. You don't even need expensive cheese trays. You can use anything in your kitchen. You can use a board that maybe you didn't need for a shelf, and you can just dress it up really nicely.
And we talked about, don't worry about everything being perfect and
Absolutely
exact.
not.
Nobody will want to eat off
because
of
you
it.
want it's messy. It's kind of something thrown together. You want it to be family, friends, and you want them to enjoy that. What we also have here in the front is
That looks like my
a
favorite.
simple chocolate dipped fig. And what we've done to add a little more flavor to it is we have a pecan inside and the marshmallow. So then you're just going to dip that. You can leave these to temper and then serve them a few hours later. One of the things, again, talking nutrition, you're going to get the antioxidants from the fig, from the chocolate. You're going to get some really good oils from the nuts, and you've got a very nice, nutritious snack.
And what were some other things that we could stuff this with?
Oh, you can stuff it with different nuts, pistachios, almonds. The marshmallow works well. You can also do caramel and different things. Again, think about what
That
you
sounds
like
good.
that you would pair with this. And that's a fun treat for kids to get involved as well. Because what are their favorite
Make
foods?
your own.
Make your own. Another thing that's very healthy nutrition is a signature fig layer bar. It's on our website. And again, you can make that with whole wheat flour, oat flour, something like that. The kids can get involved because all you're doing is pressing it into the pan. You're going to layer it with a really nice fig jam that you make with the mission and the golden figs. And then you're just going to crumble it on top. Again,
Fast
nice
and
bar.
easy, too.
And it's also something that you can put in the kids' you can put it in their lunchbox, and it's a nice treat for them. A little more indulgent is going to be your caramel fig tart. It's got
This
a
looks
really
wonderful.
nice tart pastry, some cream cheese, fresh figs. You can go fresh or dried on this very
sure.
easily, and then just drizzle with a little caramel sauce. And so then, of course, you've got your fresh figs here. But oh, I
Save the
almost
best for
forgot.
last.
This is wonderful for the holidays because you can package it. Think about peanut brittle. What we've made here is a golden fig pistachio brittle. And again, you can make it with almonds, pistachio, You could do peanuts, different things when you want to get some different color contrast and a little different flavor. But again, this is beautiful for the holidays to have on your holiday.
It's a pretty brittle. It's very shiny, and brittle's not hard to make.
It's
so you
very
can make
simple.
Huge quantities and parson it out to give as gifts.
Exactly. And then when you talk as seasonal, okay, some people love to serve figgy pudding at Christmas,
Oh,
which
of
is
course.
it's the traditional figgy pudding.
I see. Well, you can just do so much with figs. I really encourage people to go to the website.
The website is californiafigs.com, and we have over 1,000 recipes, fresh and dried. We also have nutritional information, tips on how to use figs. It's just a lot of information, and you can go, and it's easy to navigate.
It really is. Well, thank you so much, Carla. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. Just reading the material that you sent to me ahead of time, I've already learned so much about things I think I've done wrong with my cats and dogs, but as you also mentioned, it's never too late to change.
Right.
But when we have a sick pet, it's just like when you have a sick child, you know, if they can't talk, you don't know what's really wrong with them. And I guess with people, we sometimes will immediately think I wonder if it's what I ate last night. And you say that's the same thing that we should consider with our pets.
Right. We should take care of our cats and dogs the same way we do our own bodies. I mean, they were created to heal itself with proper nutrition. I believe that, you know, an all-meat diet is going to benefit the cat and the dog far superior to any other product on the market. One thing that we need to watch when we're out there is you got to read the labels carefully. Obviously, we don't want any grains, but you have to be careful with the word liver. If it's a generic word liver, you need to know what kind of liver, because there's too many allergies out there, stomach issues with these cats and dogs, and throwing the word liver on there is sort of deceptive, because if the cat or the dog is allergic to beef or, say, chicken, but yet there's chicken liver in the beef, that is a serious issue. And many consumers don't realize that they're buying a product and it says just the generic word liver.
Oh yeah, I would have thought, that'll be high in iron, give them some protein. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good.
Right. I'm not a big fan of doing the generic liver. After all, the liver is sort of the sewage tank in our bodies. You know, when we get all the drugs and the hormones, and the same thing with cattle, it all goes into our liver. And the only way to take care of to cleanse that is to do a proper cleanse with your liver, and that's what we're not doing with the cats and the dogs.
What about, you mentioned about allergies and things, so cats and dogs can have allergies just like people?
Absolutely, and what we need to do is rotate the proteins. Daily, weekly, you know, one day it could be beef, one day it could be chicken or lamb or turkey or one of my rabbit here. But, you know, if the cat consumes 100% beef every day, and of course beef and chicken, you know, they're known for, you know, a lot higher injections of hormones and steroids and things like that. So you really do want to rotate the proteins regularly.
I've always heard that cats, you know, we're so smart, that they know how much to eat. They don't overeat. But that dogs, if you put out a can, they'll eat the whole can, or if you put out a bowl of dry, for instance, they'll eat all of it. Is that true?
That is true. It's no different than humans, especially teenagers. We love our meat. We love our, you know, our food and our pork chops. But, you know, cats seem to be a little bit smarter, a little wiser. But, you know, we can do the serving rations on the dogs and, you know, give them what they need to eat. So
out of this, for instance, what would be considered a one-day serving for, let's start with a cat? One whole can or part of a can?
That is a 5.5 ounce cat can.
Salmon.
It's salmon. And on the back side, there's a feeding guide. And so if your cat weighs 1 pound, you would adjust that. But the great thing about that is it's in a pate form, and all my products are made in South Dakota. All the ingredients are sourced in the United States and made here in South Dakota, except my New Zealand lamb. But like I said, the feeding instructions are on the back.
So it's all based on weight.
Right.
And same thing for dogs?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the one you were talking about, rabbit. Is that one of your newer ones?
I've had that since we launched the company 3 years ago. Rabbit is #1 worldwide.
Is that right? And why? Is it higher in protein or what?
It's a cleaner meat.
Oh, it
It's
is?
not so injected with hormones and steroids like the cattle, but it's a great protein source. And my rabbit has really impacted the cats and dogs that suffer from IBD, the irritable bowel disease. They need a single source protein, and it's really proven wonders
That
for
it
those.
works. That's good to know. What about urinary tract infections? I didn't realize that was something that animals.
Right, it goes back
deal
to your
with.
diet. If you're eating a poor diet, these poor cats are going to suffer from that. But with the urinary tract diseases and all that, you need to add a lot of water to their meals, especially if you're feeding dry to the cat or the dog. Water is very important. And once again, I believe that you should give spring water to your cats especially, because the waters out of your sink can contain serious levels of calcium or iron or even fluoride. We don't know today if fluoride is even good or bad for animals. So spring water is the best route for these cats, especially the ones with the urinary tract disorders.
Why do pets, even if you have fresh water out for them in the house, they'll go outside and drink out of a puddle?
Well, maybe it's because the water isn't so doctored up with chemicals.
That's what I was wondering.
And chlorine and salts. I mean, it's like, sort of like drinking pool water, but our water has everything in it. Recycled water now. They're doing that in the large cities. Fluoride, but and rusty pipes, and it's frightening.
So if it rains, then obviously
It's
that's
a
why they
clean-
like the
it's clean.
clean water.
Right.
Weight issues. I thought it was interesting when I was reading. It was just almost like I was reading about people. Our pets are overweight. They're obese,
Right.
like a big percentage of people are.
Right. Well, I think that cats and dogs should eat strictly meat. And when they're consuming a diet that's filled with wheat, corn, soy, and let's just say generic liver again, it's going to throw off their metabolism. And, some companies, it might be a little cheaper for them to add nothing but wheat. And
a
they were
filler.
not created as filler. Yeah, cheap. It's very cheap. Generic liver is like a penny on the dollar. But, wheat is the cheapest thing in the book. And, then to turn around and put in 1% meat and call it meat. It's not right.
Right. No, it's not. Talking about obesity, I know with humans, they're always worried about obesity causing diabetes.
Right.
Can animals get something like diabetes?
Absolutely. It's a huge segment of the vets and trying to get the cats and dogs taken care of for the diabetes issues. But it goes back to diet. It does go back to water. And you need to feed your cat or dog 100% meat diets. And that'll take care of a lot of issues, because if these cats are eating nothing but wheat, okay, or a lot of chicken liver, a lot of beef liver, a lot of corn, it's going to have some bad results.
Boy, it's amazing. We're all just alike, whether we're the pets or the humans.
Right.
How did you get interested in doing this?
Well, I've had dogs and cats my entire life, and I got tired of losing them. And I never understood why my dogs and cats had to live a life on drugs, whether it was stomach issues, allergies, scratching. And the more I investigated about what went into pet foods, the more I knew I had to do something about it.
I see. So you really put a lot of research into this before you came up with your own company.
Right.
That's amazing.
My first set of dogs, they lived an average 5 to 7 years old. When I started my company, I wanted to make sure that they ate nothing but pure meat, real meat, that wasn't doctored up with taste chemicals. I had 2 Great Danes. They both lived to be 13. I had a poodle that lived to be 18. And my cats are still like 19, 20 years old now.
Wow.
But they were created to eat meat.
That's the bottom line, isn't it?
That's the fact.
Well, thank you so much. I've really
Thank
learned a
you.
lot about taking care of my pets now. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show today. Next time on Creative Living, we'll learn how to prepare some easy and delicious yet festive foods, and we'll talk about how seniors can protect their vision, and it's never too late to start. Festive foods usually indicates a special occasion, and one of my next guests will demonstrate several recipes that can be for a special occasion or even for special times just with family and friends. According to the American Federation for the Blind, there are increasingly more people who are experiencing eye problems. Another guest on the next show says this is especially true for those over the age of 65. He'll discuss some tips to help seniors protect their vision. Both of these topics will be featured on the next Creative Living show. If you ever have comments or suggestions or ideas for shows, you can email me at cheryl.borden@enmu.edu. I'd also like to ask you to become a fan of Creative Living on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com and in the search window, type in Creative Living with Sheryl Borden. Thanks so much. I hope you'll plan to join me next time for Creative Living.
We're very pleased to offer a new booklet that accompanies this series of Creative Living. This booklet is titled the 6800 Series, and it features a wonderful collection of ideas and information. And it's available free of charge on our website. Posted as a PDF file, you can simply download the entire booklet or just the segments you're most interested in. For your copy of this new booklet, go to our website at KENW.org and then click on Creative Living. Scroll down to the booklet section and you can click on the booklet or on any of the other booklets we have available online. We'd also like to invite you to sign up for our free e-newsletter. Just go to KENW.org and click on the Sign Up Now button and input your email address. Thank you.